Hey everyone, John Velasco here with PhoneArena. You're watching our in-depth video review of the LG Phoenix, which is AT&T's version of the LG Optimus One. It's kind of late in being released, but nonetheless it's here. It's available right now for $30 on contract and should suffice as a basic Android smartphone. Naturally, the Phoenix has a very likable design, and it follows similar to other previous LG Optimus One devices out there with the various carriers. It has the soft touch feel all around, which gives it a clean looking appearance, and you have also the chrome trim bezel, which gives it a little bit of distinguishable character. Overall, it's solidly built and a pretty decent looking handset for a basic smartphone. Again, we're presented with the same size 3.2-inch HVGA display, so that's 320 by 480 pixels. It has a pretty good quality to it, even with the basic smartphone. Text could be a little bit on the fuzzier side, but still easy to read, and color production seems to be natural for the most part. The display, though, has this plasticky feel, and the viewing angles are acceptable, but we still need shielded outside in direct sunlight. Below the display, you've got some physical Android buttons, which is a lot better and we don't accidentally press them. They're raised and they have a really solid feel when you push them down. There are very few buttons clinging onto the sides of the LG Phoenix. The left side is completely clean, and the right side, the only thing that you have is the volume rocker. It's pretty good size and has a good feel to it. Same thing applies to the dedicated power button on top, which is prominent and also has a good tactile response. 3.5mm headset jacks up there as well. And at the bottom of the handset, you have the microphone and the micro USB port. Finally, in the back, you simply have the 3.2 megapixel autofocus camera. Unfortunately, no flash. Removing the back cover will give you access to its 1500 mAh battery, and you need to remove it to gain access to both the SIM card and also micro SD card slots. Internally, the LG Phoenix is powered by a 600 MHz processor and does a pretty good job as far as performance. You can tell even with the live wallpaper, it's pretty responsive navigating when you get to the home, the app panel. The kinetic scrolling is pretty smooth and fluid, and it's running Android 2.2 Froyo, mostly stock experience except for the carousel buttons down here, slightly different, but still you get all the personalization with the platform. Due to its small size display, typing experience can be a little bit of a challenge just because in portrait buttons are very small. Luckily though, it's pretty responsive. This is the LG keyboard. We're not really fans of it just because the placement of the enter key is just placed offset from its normal position. You still have the regular stock Android one, and when you place it in portrait, you're presented with a larger size keyboard, which makes it a little bit easier typing. Naturally, the Gmail experience is satisfying just because you're presented with all the rich features that it has to offer, such as threaded conversations and even the ability to label stuff. You can even have multiple accounts loaded on there. As far as other emails are concerned, setup is simple. Generally requires your email address and password. Even with flash support disabled with the LG Phoenix, you're still presented with an okay experience when it comes to web browsing. You could tell kinetic scrolling is pretty responsive and smooth. You have pinch gestures to zoom in. It's fairly responsive. Although the text can be a little bit hard to read out, you gotta really zoom in. But for the most part, it gives you a pretty good experience. Routinely, we're greeted with the stock Android music player with the LG Phoenix, which is more than functional at its core. In terms of the audio quality with its speaker, it has an acceptable tone to it, not irritable, and at the same time doesn't crackle at the loudest volume setting. When it comes to video watching, it's pretty good with the LG Phoenix. The video here we have is encoded in MPEG-4, 800 by 480 resolution. It's actually the highest resolution video that will load on here, and you can tell it's running it pretty smoothly, but with its lower quality display, you definitely notice a little bit of pixelation, and colors might not be as vibrant as we'd like. When it comes to capturing photos with the handset's 3.2 megapixel camera, we're not too satisfied with its quality. It's a little bit below average. Outdoors in plenty of sunlight, it produces some soft looking details. On top of that, kind of muddy looking. Indoors under natural lighting, color production seems to be a little bit washed out. While in low lighting shots, there are some instances of digital noise in the shots. Sadly, we're not impressed with the video quality either. It's only VGA resolution, 640 by 40 resolution. It's very pixelated looking, and it shoots at a frame rate of 17 frames per second, so it could be very choppy looking. And audio quality is pretty muffled and also distorted. Calling quality is average at best with the LG Phoenix. With the earpiece itself, it doesn't produce the strongest tones and does sound a little bit on the mute side. Luckily, voices are both clear and distinctive on both ends of the line. When you switch to using the speakerphone, voices are also clear, but the overall volume is a little bit on the low side. Signal strength is really good with the handset. In high coverage areas, we get a good amount of bars, and we didn't experience any drop calls during our testing. Additionally, we're happy with the handset's battery life. We managed to get a continuous talk time of 8.5 hours on a single charge when the manufacturer has it rated for 7.5 hours. As far as normal usage, we managed to pull in at least a day with the handset, so it should suffice for most people. Just like all the other variants before it, we're very happy with the LG Phoenix, but our biggest complaint about it just took a long time for it to be released with AT&T. They are indeed the last carrier to offer their version of the LG Optimus One. It's a nice basic phone. $30 on contract should suffice for most people, but we'd probably assume that it should be priced lower at this point at free to really entice people out there, but still you're getting a pretty good basic Android smartphone. So if you'd like to learn more about the LG Phoenix or for all latest cell phone reviews, news, specs, and information, you can check us out, PhoneArena.com.